Alright, so now it's time to put in our final pieces, our focal point. So if you did purchase one of my kits, you will have received at least 3 of a key ingredient. So today we're going to be using these wooden roses, and I'm going to use 3 cones as well as a few sticks. So you want to be thinking here about a triangle, and you also want to be thinking about bringing people's attention right into this area here. So you don't want your flower up very high. So these are on quite thin metal sticks. Hopefully I won't need to. And you can bend them. So these are wired. And you want to bring the attention right in here. Now because my arrangement is going to be seen a little bit more on the sides, I'm going to bring these two fairly close. So we can get it in there. But also a nice feature on this side. And I'm going to do the same on this side. And you want to stagger them just a little bit. Hopefully we can get this one. You don't want to bury it, you just want to make it really pretty. Now, I'm not as keen on these white tip cones as I am on the natural cones. And sometimes you'll find the size of the stick that you get is just beyond what you really need. So I'm going to try it one more time. Now I'm going to cut it. They're just made of a wood dowling, so feel free to trim it to where you need. Let's get you up at the front here, something nice to look at. I'm not totally happy with this. I think I want to move it. Just bring it in a little bit tighter here. And you can play with it till you get how you want. I do want to draw people's eye over here just a little bit, so I'm going to get that one in here. And the third one, I can take it a bit higher and be up over here. Now I still feel like I have a little bit of space in here, and I think I'd like to fill it in with a couple more things that I haven't used yet. So I'm going to add in a few more greens. Here's a beautiful piece of incense cedar. Just work with this. The metal is so handy because then you can shape it and have it wherever you want it to be. And I haven't used much of my Oregonia yet, and I think that would be nice in here too. So I'm just going to trim it back just a little bit. And get you in here. Here's another nice piece. Now sometimes you think to yourself, wow, this is way too long. Do I have to waste all of this? And the answer is no. I'm going to get 2 out of this. So I'm going to cut it in here and leave this nice long handle. So I've got this piece, and then I'm just going to give myself a little bit more space on this one, and then I have 2. So that's a way of taking what was one good sized one and actually making it work for you a little bit better. Because this needs a bit more fill right in here and right in here. Got like one nice more piece of incense cedar. Really fill it up. If you feel like you need more stuff, there's certainly lots of things you can add, but at the same time, we don't want to take away from what we've got going on here. So the last thing I'm going to do, just to carry my red straight up, is I'm going to use some of these pieces of curly willow that have been dyed red. Now if this isn't your cup of tea, you can absolutely have natural willow, and that will give it a sort of a different kind of look, and I'll show you what they both look like. But I'm going to go with the red because I think it's a little traditional. And generally what I do is I'm going to hold it just beside it and have a look at the height. Once you cut it, you're kind of done. You can't really get it long again. So you want to make sure if you are going to trim it, you're not taking too much off. Now it can be a little taller than the birch. That's absolutely acceptable. And this one is just a little bit longer than I'd like. So I am going to take a little off the bottom. And I'm going to just trim anything that's going to be an obstacle to get into the soil. Right, just to give me a nice piece of to insert. And I want to bring it in here with the birch. And I'm going to use 3 of these. And I'm going to move them around, some a little forward, some a little back, and maybe one more right up through the middle. And this is a particularly long one, so I'm going to take it and just have it coming a bit in the front. All right? Now, in a minute, I'm going to take the camera and show you kind of what it looks like all the way around. But really, we're kind of done. If you would like to add more greens, if you want it to be fuller, you can absolutely do that. And if you wanted to add any other different kinds of pieces, you can absolutely do that too. So that's all I've got to share with you. I'm going to show you some other finished samples on the next section, so stay tuned. So this is a look at the back. And as you come around the front, you'll see that the sticks are angled slightly toward the back. There's lots of filler in the back, but the focal point is clearly up here. So here's an example of the same arrangement, more or less, with the similar greens. But in this case, we've substituted much more natural materials for our focal point and our featured pieces. So this is the natural curly willow, and these are some pods and some wood cones and some cedar. And I've put this little accent of a little bit of seeded eucalyptus. A little bit goes a long way, but it gives it a really nice look. So just one idea with this one that you may want to consider. These are some cones from the jack pine, and I know it's easy for many of us to collect cones. And you don't actually need to have it on a stick. Here I've just put some wire, wrapped it around the base. But here's what you can do with it. Once you've got your arrangement finished, I just want to get my wire wrapped around one of the branches that I already have in my pot. So I'm just going to take it and wrap it around this piece of jack pine. And the wire is going to give me some flexibility on where it goes. And I can angle it, or I can push it down, and then I can add it as a feature. And if I don't like where it is, I can make some changes. So wiring some extra cones, things like that, give it a really nice natural look. So thanks for joining me on this how-to video. There's so many ways to do this. I just hope this has given you a little bit of information and some inspiration to go and try this yourself. If you'd like to purchase a kit, please visit my website at miriamsfloralstudio.ca. Thanks. Have a great day.